We are rejoicing. We are glad in it. I am ready to rock and roll. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. If you are coming on, joining me live, please do me a quick favor. Hit the like button, hit the share button, tag absolutely lolly dolly everybody and let them know that your boy Ramonepreston, my squad, we are all live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. Today is Monday, August the 21st, 2023, and I'm super excited. It's Millionaire Monday. Monday is my favorite work day of the week. I just love Mondays. One reason is because we're able to set the trajectory and forecast for what we want our work week to be like. So for all of you that are coming on, I want you to hit the like button. I want you to hit the share button. Don't forget to subscribe to our channels, whether you're watching us on Instagram through my phone, whether you're watching me through our streaming service on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter or X now, and Facebook. If you're watching us on any of those platforms and channels, be sure to hit the like button, hit the share button, tag lolly dolly everybody, and subscribe to the page to show some love to your boy. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. Just in case you don't know, now you know. I'm your host, Ramonepreston, every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, just like today on Monday, August the 21st, we show up here live to give you the game, to share information with you that we know if you use it, it will help assist you in your entrepreneurial process of starting, structuring, and properly scaling any business or organization. I have over 20 years experience as an entrepreneur full-time and as a minister full-time. So I have built a for-profit organizational enterprise. I have built a non-profit organization. So I know how both of those entities and organizational structures work. And thankfully, I have success to prove that what I share with you on this show is not only working for me, but is working for countless people that my wife and I, my team and I have worked with in over 20 years. And just within the last 3 to 4 years since we launched our university training platform, we have almost 10,000 lessons that have been taken on that platform. We have almost 1,000 students or clients that have enrolled in certain programs on that platform. And we have served over 530 something odd clients, whether it's through our consulting division, our coaching division, or our educational division, or all three. So I'm just giving it to you right here at the introduction so that you can know your boy, he is qualified. And today we're going to be talking about the 3 C's to consistent success in business. The 3 C's to consistent success in business. Like if there's one thing that today's entrepreneurs are missing, that one thing is, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm gonna keep it a buck with you today. If it's one thing that today's entrepreneurs are missing, like if it's just one thing that I would have to say, okay, this is what today's entrepreneur is really missing. That one thing I would say has to be consistency. How many of y'all agree with me on that? How many of you watching me today, listening to me today, can agree that today's entrepreneurs, and the truth is, most people, even if they're employees, a lot of people today struggle with this thing here called consistency. A lot of people have a problem doing something that is impactful consistently over long periods of time. I always try to tell students and mentees that I work with, especially if they join one of my courses or my programs, always try to tell them, whatever you set out to do, at least try to make a commitment to do it for 1 year. At least 1 year. That's one of the reasons why most of my programs and my courses are 1 year. Just about anything that you purchase from our university training platform, whether it's a one-time single course, whether it's a Millionaire Blueprint, a ministry training course, a coaching program, most of my products and services and programs are like 1 year. And there's a science behind it. There's a science behind it because most people can't do anything consistently for at least a year. So if you're listening to me, you're watching me, I want you to go ahead and start wrapping your mind around the fact that whatever the things are that you are learning right now, you should already have in your mind, I'm gonna have to grind this thing out for at least the next year. Like there are some things you should be implementing today in August. I'm talking about Monday, August the 21st, that you shouldn't even come off of until August of 2024. If you can't think like that, like you're not gonna succeed. I just want you to understand that. And so today I wanna share with you 3 C's to consistent success in business. If you don't want consistent success, you definitely don't want to listen to somebody like me. If you don't want consistent success in your finances, what I say to you and what you hear me talk about on social media and on my videos and all that stuff, you ain't gonna listen to it and live by it. You know why? Because I'm standing here today after over 20 years of consistency as an entrepreneur. After over 20 years of consistency as a minister of the gospel. So I know a thing or two about consistency. And guess what? When I look back just the last 20 years, I mean, that's like, good gracious, almost a quarter of a century. That's a whole generation. But when I look back the last 20 years of my entrepreneurial journey, I'm gonna be 100 with you right here. Like, I got PTSD for all the stuff I had to go through. Like, I am traumatized by how painful the last 20 years have been for me as an entrepreneur. It has been painful. It's been worth it, but it's been painful. But when I look back at the last 20 years of my entrepreneurial journey, the last 3 to 4 years have been the most impactful, meaning that the first 15, 16, almost 17 years of the last 20, I really didn't see a lot of exponential growth and success. It's like the last 2 or 3. But when I think about that, wow, okay, I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years. Me and my wife, we started in 2003. What if we would have given up at year 15? What if we would have threw in the towel at year 16? I'm telling you, like, we were right on the verge at like year 16, coming into year 17. We're talking about like 3-4 years ago, right before COVID. It was then that we started like seeing a little momentum. And when I say momentum, I'm not talking about like just making enough money to get by, because we had been making 6 figures for years, but we never really started climbing that ladder on a whole nother level until about 3-4 years ago. Now, again, I'm not just saying this to talk about me. I just use my life and my experience as an example, because I want you to understand these 3 C's to consistent success in business. If you want to be consistent in business, if you want to be consistent in your finances, you're going to have to work these 3 C's into your life, okay? So I want you to take these 3, and I really want you to give me a few minutes to share as much as I can with you, okay? We're like 10 minutes into the show, and if you're just coming on, or if you've been on with me for the last 10 minutes, make sure you put in the comments what city you're watching me from. If you're a student or a client or a mentee in one of our courses and programs, please let the world know in the comments who you are. We want the world to see that we ain't just on here, like throwing information out, and we ain't got real people who are seeing real results. So if you're a student or a client or a mentee, please put it in the comments. So what are the 3 C's? What are the 3 C's to consistent success in business? I want you to write these 3 down. The first C is Competency. That's the first C, okay? If you're taking notes, I want you to write them down. The second C is confidence. And the third C is courage. Now, again, if you follow me and watch the show on a regular basis, you already know I ain't giving you no fluff now. You already know I give you a lot of tactics, a lot of strategies, a lot of mechanics, a lot of methods. I give you tools and things that you could practice today in order to see some success. I show you how to file and form paperwork. I show you how to implement strategies for your taxes and for building out your sales and marketing campaigns. So I give you a lot of grassroots, in the weed type tactics. Today, this is not just a tactic, but this is a mentality. I'm talking about something that you need to wrap your mind around if you want to see consistent success in your business. Shout out to CB Enterprises in the chat. He says, try 3 months first. I have to do it day by day until it's week by week, up until a year. Then you move. Okay, I see what he's saying. Someone was making a comment that even if it's 3 months, you got to give yourself at least 90 days. I totally agree with that. Okay, so here are the 3 C's that I want you to start wrapping your mind around if you want to see consistent success. We're talking about consistent success, okay? Consistent success in business. And I know what I'm saying is true, and there's a lot of data, there's a lot of science, there's a lot of math, there's a lot of analytics, there's a lot of statistics and studies behind what I'm saying, and I have firsthand experience because I see people come in and out of our office, of our university, of our courses, of our programs on a day-to-day basis, and they come in on fire. Oh, I'm going to educate myself. Oh, I'm going to get the mentorship. Oh, I'm going to get coached. Oh, I want you to give me the game. They come in on fire. And then like a month or 2 later, here it is. Or 3-4 months later, here it is. And I always try to tell them, this is why I put together 1-year programs, because you need to give yourself at least a 12-month window. Number one, to start building a mentality, a mental muscle with these 3 things so that at some point you can become consistent. Like most of the times, if you new to something, if you new to business ownership, if you new to sales or marketing or creative tax strategies or systems and processes or holding companies, how do you think within a month or 2 you're going to figure all this stuff out? I got people who've been in programs that I have, mentorship and coaching programs for 2-3 years, and they still trying to figure out certain concepts that we talking about. It takes time, bruh, sis. It takes time. So if you want consistent success in your business, in your finances, and truth be told, if you want it in your life, I want you to embrace, I want you to wrap your mind around these three C's. CB Enterprises in the chat says, the Millionaire Blueprint has changed my life. Salute to you. He says, I move at my own pace, but I refuse to deny the change in mindset I have had from just the smaller package. It has changed my life within a year's time. He says, I don't get pesos for telling you to get any package, but I'm telling you, it will change your everything if you just apply it. It is simple, but it doesn't mean it's easy to do simple things. Thank you so much. That's one of our Millionaire Blueprint students. He's been on our educational platform and program for some time. And he's telling you, hey, if you're willing to put the time in and study and educate and train and learn these concepts and these principles, that's one thing. But then you got to have that muscle to put them jokers to practice. When you start putting them to practice, you're going to see change. It's inevitable. So I want you to take a moment, and I want you to wrap your mind around these 3 C's to be consistent or to have consistent success in business. All right. The first C is competency. So what do I mean when I say competency? You got to be competent. If you are incompetent in something, that means you are unable to operate at the highest level. You're unable to be effective. You're unable to make an impact. You don't have the competency, or you don't have the bandwidth to handle the responsibility that comes with whatever the things are that you're doing. So an incompetent entrepreneur that's in business, if you are financially incompetent, if you are incompetent as a leader, if you are incompetent when it comes to technology, when it comes to organizing, when it comes to managing the day-to-day operations of your business, whether you are a solopreneur or whether you have a group of people helping you or you got a couple virtual assistants, it don't matter. In business, there is a level of competency that you have to have. And listen to this, your competency ain't just based on you being good at the thing you're trying to sell. That's where a lot of entrepreneurs get it twisted. So for example, if you good at designing clothes and then you start a business you start a business for designing clothes, just because you good at designing clothes don't mean you good at running a clothing design business. You could be good at painting walls. You could be good at landscape. I hear lawnmowers outside our office today. You could be good at anything, whatever the products are that you sell, the services that you provide. Okay, you're a beast at it. But here's the problem. You might be a beast at doing the thing that you do, that you get paid to do, but are you a beast or competent to run the business if you put a business around it? Have you ever noticed some people, you probably know some people like this, they good at certain things. Oh my God, they a beast, they a killer. They awesome. They know they got it going on with this thing. And they might work for another company doing that thing. So let's say, for example, somebody cooks. They're a good cook. They throw down. So they work for a restaurant and they just put down. And then all of a sudden they get the big head. And I understand, it's okay. They get this ego and then they leave the business where they cook at. And then they say, I'm going to go start my own restaurant. But what they fail to realize is just because they had competency as a cook and confidence as a cook and courage as a cook don't mean they had that same C in business. They didn't understand payroll, taxes, overhead, capital expenses, operating expenses. They didn't understand systems, processes, POS systems. They didn't understand vendors. They didn't understand none of this. They didn't understand that they had to get stuff from the health department. They had to get code inspectors. They didn't understand that they had to have somebody to come get the oil when they changed the oil. They didn't understand none of this. And we're just talking about like a restaurant because they know how to cook. All they did was cook good. So they got awesome recipes. But because they were not competent in business, the business failed. The restaurant closed. So when I say you got to get this competency, I'm talking about you need to learn how to actually become a successful entrepreneur who owns and manages a real business. Just because you got an LLC with an EIN number and a Duns and Bradstreet number and a doggone Secretary of State certificate, that don't mean you got a business. It just means you got a good idea with paperwork to back that good idea up, but you don't have a business. You got to get competent. And I ain't trying to bash you and trash you. I'm just challenging you and opening you up to see that if you're going to be a successful entrepreneur and have success in the business that you start or run or own as an entrepreneur, you got to get competent. That means you got to get educated. You cannot skip around getting educated. You cannot skip around getting mentored. You cannot skip around getting in a consolidated community that has people who are willing to help you. I can't even tell you how regretful, and I use that word loosely, but I can't even begin to tell you how regretful I am. A better way of saying it, I can't even begin to tell you how stupid I feel. That's an easier way to put it, because I'm really not regretful. I just feel stupid when I think about how long it took me to realize that I can pay to be mentored and coached and to be in communities and rooms with people who are so competent in running businesses and being millionaires and being successful that I don't even need to go through all these years of struggling. It took me a while to figure that out. Now in ministry, I knew that early on, because in ministry and in the church, you learn early on that, okay, you need a pastor. You got to pay your tithes. You got to go to church. You got to serve in the ministry. You got to be obedient to God. Like, I learned that stuff quick when I got saved and got into church. But it took me a while to understand how that plays out in business. And so, again, I started 20 years ago, my wife and I as entrepreneurs, 2003. So we didn't have the technology, social media. You know, it's only a few infomercials we used to see on TV for real estate. And then we went to some of these seminars. You know, they used to have the infomercials, and me and my wife, we was in real estate. So we go to these little seminars. Oh, come to this free event. We're going to be here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then we get there, and it's like a 90-minute sales pitch. It felt like you were at a timeshare presentation. And for 90 minutes, they just talking. The person who was actually on the infomercial never showed up. And then at the end, they're pitching you, you know, maybe a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 program, but it didn't resonate with me. Number one, I didn't have the money. But number two, it didn't resonate with me. So we're in a different world. But I'm saying that so that you can understand how powerful your competency can be when you just align yourself with people who are already doing the doggone thing. Are you feeling me today? All right, CB Enterprises says, let's see here. Oh, that was already a statement I made. So how many of y'all agree with me that competency is critical to consistency in your business if you want to be successful? How many of y'all agree with me? I want you to put something in the comments to let me know. You agree that competency is one of the most important components to consistent success in business. You got to get competent. So competency, we're talking about information. We're talking about knowledge. We're talking about training, specialized training. So if you were to ask me, Ramon, what do I need to get information on, knowledge on, training on in order to be competent in business? Well, I think you need to learn how to, if you start a LLC, you need to learn how to structure it. You need to learn concepts like the holding company. You need to learn how to properly position yourself as an expert in the marketplace. You have to learn sales. You have to learn how to use a script, how to have a sales process. You need to learn how to market and get attention. You need to learn how to manage the day-to-day operations of your systems and processes. See, if you listen to me long enough, I'm talking about the same thing over and over again in different ways. I'm talking about the holding company and the concepts around the holding company. I'm talking about asset management and the concepts around asset management as a business owner. I'm talking about creative tax strategies, which are tied to your financial activities, and I'm talking about systems and processes. If you listen to me enough, you'll start seeing, oh, okay, he's given us like the main things that everybody should be using if they want to be successful in business. Because remember, I used to just be a hustler. I'm out there grinding and hustling every day trying to make a couple dollars. And then I start maturing as an entrepreneur, and I realize, oh, I need a real business. And then once I started a business, a real company, a real entity, I realized that, oh, wow, I got an LLC, but I don't really have a business. And to be totally transparent with you, I didn't just come up with that. My CPA at the time, this was about 9 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, my CPA at the time, he told me when we sat down for a meeting, he said, Ramon, let me explain something to you. And he tried to land me softly as he could, but he told me, he said, let me explain something to you. Just because you have a LLC doesn't mean you're a business owner. And I was like, what you mean I'm not a business owner? He was like, you're not a business owner. And I was like, okay, now he's trying to be extra. And then his point was, you're an entrepreneur. You're not a business owner because you don't have a staff, you don't have a payroll, you don't have systems. And he started going through this list, and I was like, oh, wow, you're right. I'm not a business owner. I want to be, but I'm not competent. I don't understand enough of the things that I need to understand to actually build a business. And the main thing is not the structure, but how do I sell products and services? How do I market them? How do I generate enough revenue? How do I start hiring people? How do I start expanding my organization? So the first C is competency. The second C is confidence. Now, here's what I want you to understand about confidence. And one of my mentors, I want you to get the memo. He really, I'm not even going to say he publicly embarrassed me, because it wasn't embarrassing. It was just like he checked me. I remember one of my mentors, we were sitting in a classroom in Miami, and he was teaching. And we had our workbook, and we was going through, I think we was on like page 1. And I'm in the front row, because remember, I got a lot of courage. So a lot of times I'll exercise courage with no confidence or no competency. I'm just courageous. Sometimes it's stupid, but I'm just like that. And so this was maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. And so I went right to the front row. Oh, I'm sitting in the front row. I want to see everything. I want them to see me. I want to be known and be heard. I mean, I just made this big old deal, right? This is day 1. So I get in the front, and so he was like, okay, I want y'all to do page 1, write certain things down, and then we're gonna come around and question you. And so I'm just checking boxes, and I'm checking boxes. But one of the boxes that I needed to check was a confidence box. And so and the question was like, how confident are you on a scale from 1 to 10? Right? And I put 10. Oh, I'm confident in my success, in my business, blah, blah, blah. I didn't understand the question. And so once he got up and he started, asking people, who wanna give me an answer? Hear me, big head. I throw my hand up. Yeah, I'm good. You ready? He was like, yeah, so what did you put? My chest sticking out. Oh, I'm 10. I'm a 10. He was like, explain to me. I was like, I thought it was going to just be like, oh, okay, wow, awesome, man, you're a 10. But he explained to me, he said, the reason why I'm challenging you on this is because if you were a 10 in your confidence in business, you wouldn't have a $700,000-800,000 business at that time. He was like, your business wouldn't be trying to get to $1 million. You would probably have a $20-30 million business if you were confident, if you were a 10. He was like, if you were a 7 or 8, you still would have like maybe a $20 million business. He was like, a 10, you should be making over $100 million. And then he started explaining to me, your belief in yourself is a 10. Your belief in your ability to show up every day and to run your business is a 10. So you have a high belief, Ramon. This is how he showed me this, and it changed me forever. I'm still talking about it today. And again, I wasn't embarrassed. I felt a little bad. I could feel the room closing in on me a little bit. My mouth got dry a little bit. Because he checked me. But everybody needs a gut check. This is why I'm saying your competency should be tied to you being around people who keeping fire under you, who holding you accountable, especially if you married. The worst thing you could do is be married and then have this idea to have a successful business, and then you drag your spouse through the mud because you are egotistical and unaccountable and unwilling to let somebody help you become a better version of you, and they know you stupid. Like your spouse know you stupid. They know you goofy. They know you around here winging it and you don't know what you're doing, and they love you, they trying to support you. That's the worst thing you could do as a person who wants to start a business or lead a business. You gotta be real with yourself. But anyway, that's where he showed me. You have a high belief, Ramon, but you're not confident. He was explaining to me, your confidence is tied to your competence. So your confidence is really your ability to do what you have learned to do. So a lot of times we confuse confidence with belief. I did. I'm a 40-something-year-old man at this time, and I'm being told by another man that your belief level is 10, but your confidence level is maybe 2 based on the results you're getting in your business because of what you don't know. You understand what I'm saying? So I was glad I was in the room. I'm glad I'm still in that room, and I continue to be around people like that because they have helped me tremendously increase my confidence. Why? Because it increases my competence is being increased. I'm becoming a better business owner. I'm becoming a better leader. I'm becoming a better asset manager. I'm becoming a better investor. I'm becoming a better person as a CEO, as a operator. Do you understand what I'm saying? So your confidence is not your belief. Your confidence is really the result that you get once you become competent. So the more competent you become, the more confident you become. So people who are not confident are most likely people who are not competent. Does that make sense? That's the second C to consistent success in business. So you gotta learn, you gotta study, you gotta train. I tell my staff, my team, my squad, I love them so dearly. I tell them almost like every day, I might mention it to them when I think about it, that they are light years ahead of people who run businesses, and they are employees for a business. And people be asking me like, how do you say that? Where's that coming from? Because they study every day. It's mandatory that when they come to work in the morning, the first thing they have to do, of course, we pray, because we are an anointed business. We are prophetic. You get what I'm saying? But we don't just pray and prophesy to each other and speak in tongues in the morning, which we do that at this office. So if you're ever thinking about working for a company like Ramonepreston Enterprise, you better know we're going to be in here speaking in tongues. We're going to be in here prophesying. We might even be laying hands. There have been mornings that they on the floor, and I'm looking at them on the floor, and I'm thinking, we ain't never finna do no business if they don't get off this floor. But we love God. We love his presence, and we want him to be in the deal. So we make room for him every day. But we study too. We role play, we train. You know why? Because they understand they have to be competent so that they can have confidence. So they don't mind getting on the phone talking to people. If any of you have ever texted a number that we gave you, if you've ever emailed us, if you've ever reached out to us, I guarantee you've had a pleasant experience with somebody on the other end of that phone. You know why? Because they are working every day to become more competent and confident in what they know they're supposed to be doing for you. And most business owners and entrepreneurs don't even do that every day because they're not accountable. Nobody holds them to the fire. They get their lazy behind up every day and do what they want to do, claiming they own it and running a business. Yeah, you're owning it and running it into the ground if you don't have competency and confidence. Last but not least, the final C is courage. So here's what I want you to understand. Courage is not in the absence of fear. People who take courage and who operate in courage, it's not like they're fearless. I always tell people, I don't think I'm a fearless person. You know, I mean, come on, man. I grew up with roaches and mice and stuff and spiders and stuff because we was poor. You know, we had these bugs in our house, but I'm a whole grown man. And if a bug jump on me, oh my God, I ain't fear. Like, I'm not fearless. I'm not fearless around dogs. I'm not fearless around alligators. I'm not fearless around spiders and snakes. So I don't claim to be fearless. I'm not a fearless person. There are things that I fear. Okay, there are things that I'm afraid of. It's just the way it is. I'm human, and I accept that. But guess what? That don't mean I ain't got courage. That don't mean I ain't got courage. And I'm telling you right now, courage is a muscle that you can build. Courage is a muscle you can build. Now, this is a afternoon daily show, primarily about business. So I ain't going to preach to you, but I'm going to preach to you. Because in the Bible, God told Joshua to take courage. He told him to take courage. Be of good courage, Joshua. Why? Because Joshua, he was questioning his competency. Joshua was questioning his confidence. But God was telling him, listen, even if you question the competency and the confidence, don't question the courage. At least be willing to show up. At least be willing to do your due diligence to prove, not to everybody else, but to prove to yourself. Be willing to prove to yourself that you have the courage to step out and see consistent success in your business. Now, with that being said, whether you have the necessary competence, confidence, and courage or not, at some point, you have to make the decision to surround yourself, align yourself, connect yourself with people who can help you get to that place of success. And so this is the second week in a row that I'm going to be opening and offering a special invitation to you if you are willing and wanting and ready to learn and to train and to educate yourself. Everything that I do, whether it's consulting or coaching, it's all built on education because I know what my self-education has done for me. I know what all of the years that I've invested in learning and educating myself and trial and error. I know what it has developed in me, and I know how it has given me the ultimate leverage to see success in my business and in my finances. So I want to extend a special offer to you on Saturday. Let me pull it up real quick. On Saturday, September the 2nd, 2023, about 12 days from now, I'm going to be hosting a live virtual business boot camp. It's going to be a private event, so the general public won't have access to it. We'll have it inside of our university platform where you can log in and you can join me. I'll be standing or sitting right here in our studio. You'll be chiming in and coming in through the private link, and I'm going to do a one-day deep dive during this business boot camp on 4 extremely important concepts that I believe could help you create success and maybe become one of the 22 million new millionaires that are going to be created in the next 3 years. And so during this one-day deep dive from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on September the 2nd, I'm going to be going deep into the nuts and bolts of these 4 main concepts. I'm going to be talking about the holding company, asset management, creative tax strategies, and organizational or operational systems. I'm going to dig deep into all 4 of these topics. And so you can get 1 VIP ticket to join me to this one-day event. Plus, I'm also adding to this offer 4 training programs. So you get the 1 VIP ticket and you get 1 year unlimited access to our holding company program, our asset management program, our creative tax strategy program, and our corporate systems and processes program for $97. Like this offer, I don't even know why I did it for this low of a dollar amount, but guess what? I did it. I put it out there. I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just make sure that I put together a package that could be very, very valuable and that can really help the average entrepreneur structure and scale any business that they have, no matter what products and services that you provide. So this is called our Business Bootcamp Bundle. And again, for $97, I'm giving you one VIP ticket to join me for a virtual one-day boot camp where I'll be going over all 4 of these concepts and I'll be deep diving into them. And I'm giving you 1 year unlimited access to these 4 courses. So all you would have to do, literally, is text the word bootcamp to me today while me and my team are here, and we'll reach back out to you and we'll confirm that you're responding to this offer. And once we process that $97 payment, either over the phone or if you want us to send a private, safe invoice through our QuickBooks account so you'll know it's legit, we'll send it to you. Once you pay that $97, we're going to instantly onboard you to our Business Bootcamp Bundle. And inside that bundle, there's going to be 5 training modules. There's going to be a module with the upcoming date and a link and all the information for the one-day virtual bootcamp. And the other 4 modules will be for holding company, asset management, creative tax strategies, and operational systems. So you're going to have 1 year to train, to educate, to learn, to deep dive. But if you get started today, you've got 12 days before the live virtual bootcamp so that you can start familiarizing yourself with these concepts, writing down, jotting down the questions that you might have. So when we come live on September the 2nd from 10 to 4, you can ask any question you want to ask. I'm going to be available for you from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., training you, educating you, answering all your questions. And these are the 4 concepts that we're going to be teaching. So I'm going to be teaching about the holding company. We'll be talking about how to file and form your paperwork, how to draft your paperwork for your EIN number. What language do you need to put on the SS4 form when it's a holding company? We'll be talking about your articles of organization when you go to the Secretary of State. How do you categorize the LLC as a holding company? What language do you use? We'll be showing you how to draft your operating agreement. We'll talk about how to create divisions under your holding company. How do you create subsidiaries? How do you manage the day-to-day operations of a holding company? We're going to be literally deep diving into the holding company. We're going to be talking about asset management. I'm going to show you how to identify with assets. And I'm telling you, within the next couple years, if you learn about the holding company and asset management, you're going to be ahead of the game because there are so many businesses and other active assets in the marketplace today that are going to be forced to be transferred to other businesses. There's a transfer of wealth taking place. The baby boomer generation, they're leaving the workforce, they're leaving the marketplace, and there's going to be a major multi-trillion-dollar transfer of assets, and it's going to be transferred through either mergers and acquisitions. So learning about the holding company concept, creating a structure that works, and then adding to that structure the ability to be an asset manager so you can identify with assets, accumulate them, integrate them into your business so that the valuation of your business goes up, your net worth goes up, your market value, your enterprise revenue, everything changes just with those 2. We're also going to cover creative tax strategies. We're going to be talking about how to track your income and expenses as opposed to your cash collected. How do you forecast for your business? These are concepts that most entrepreneurs have no idea about, and this is what determines the success of a real business. We're going to be talking about operational systems. So I'm going to show you a simple way of creating what we call a general operating system. How do you take your sales activities, your marketing activities, your administrative activities, your financial activities, and your executive activities, and how do you make them work in a general operating system? Those are the 4 areas that we're going to be talking about. And again, you can get access to these 4 programs today. These are video-based programs. We have documents and forms inside of these programs. You could start training, educating. You can use any device to watch these videos and just start educating yourself. And then you join me on Saturday, September the 2nd for the live virtual boot camp. And while we go through these nuts and bolts, whatever questions you have, we can answer those questions to see to it that you get way more than $97 worth. So you want to take me up on that offer? Text the word bootcamp to 678-276-8253. Wow, what an amazing show today. How many of y'all enjoyed today's show? And what was your biggest takeaway? Like, what was the one thing or maybe one of the C's that you felt like, whoo, that was some game there, bruh. I needed that one. Listen, I want you to be competent as an entrepreneur. I want you to be confident as an entrepreneur. And I want you to be courageous as an entrepreneur. And maybe, just maybe, at a $97 level, the biggest act of courage you probably have to take is signing up for this boot camp, signing up for this boot camp bundle, getting access to the courses, and start the process of learning, educating yourself, getting mentored by somebody who has proven success. I know a lot of people like to troll me, especially when I run ads on social media, but they're idiots. They don't know what they're talking about. So I see sometimes people all in the comments. First of all, they got avatars, so they ain't got their real picture. Probably ain't their real name. They probably, walk around in their socks and drawers in their auntie basement. They're non-factors. But we want to show real success, real results, not just from the business that I built, but from the students and the mentees and the clients that we've worked with for years now. So again, I want you to be one of them. I want you to get some success under your belt. I want you to get the experience, and you could just text bootcamp to 678-276-8253. Listen, I appreciate all of you that are streaming inside of the chat. Thank you for your comments. Y'all, please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube page. How many times I got to ask y'all to subscribe to my YouTube page? I know. Every time you go to YouTube and it's time to subscribe, you got to log in and go through all that. Listen, it's worth it. The algorithms should see that our channel is helping as many people as it's helping. Like we have probably 9,200 subscribers on our YouTube page. That's like 800 short of 10,000. Well, every month we probably have about 20,000 views on our YouTube channel. Like every month consistently, every 28 days, the analytics show us we have probably most months, we have over 20,000 views on our YouTube page. Most of those views are coming from people who are typing in and searching for information about holding companies, business systems, structures, and they come to our page because our information, our videos come up. So I'm asking you, if you're watching this information, be sure to subscribe. Just take the few moments, subscribe, make sure you get the notifications on, follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, and give us an opportunity to get the exposure that we need to help as many people as possible. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for joining the Ramonepreston Show today on this beautiful Millionaire Monday, August the 21st. We will be back, same place, same time, 12 o'clock noon, right here on the Ramonepreston Show. Don't forget, text the word bootcamp to 678-276. I got my phone on IG. I turned it around today because every time, let me turn it back around. Every time will it let me turn it around? Yep, it will. Every time for all of you that are on IG, every time I have the phone facing me, the words and everything is backwards. And sometimes when I have the phone facing me and I'm looking at it the whole time, I get distracted. So I turned it around the other way today. I hope all of you were able to get the value that you needed. Text the word bootcamp to 678-276-8253. We could get you onboarded today. You can start educating yourself, training today. I know people who've gotten access to this boot camp or the content inside of it, and within 2 or 3 days, they've reached back out to us and told us, I already got my LLC paperwork done. I'm just waiting for them to send the confirmation back. I got my operating agreement drafted. I'm working on my taxes and my strat. Like, I got people who just get on there and they move with it so that they can start accelerating their business. So look forward to hearing from you. Love you. I'll see you all tomorrow. Same place, same time, right here on the Ramon Preston Show.